for the people to come into the stream. Waiting for people to come into the stream. Hit up the comment, you can come join the stream. Hit up the comment, you can join in the stream. Hit up the comment. I watched Star is Born, so naturally I have a song in my heart now, and I gotta say it. Hello.
Is that what that was? Was a song?
That's her song. That's what she comes on and say. I'm gonna song and I'm gonna sing. And here we go. A star. I am a star, and we're gonna sing about the star. You know, that's I don't mean to spoil the movie.
Yeah.
Don't spoil the movie.
Spoil the movie.
It's important that you don't spoil the movie. All right. I'm gonna stream in the stream.
Oh, one more thing. I'm going to start recording it all over there, okay?
Good call. Hey, good call. Come and join the fun. Ding, ding. Come join the fun and then join in the fun. Ding, ding. Join in the fun and then join in the fun. Ding, ding. Join in the fun. We're going to talk about comics. Let's talk comics. You want to start? Let's kick it off. Let's do it. Ready?
Let's do it. 3,
2,
1,
0. Oh. Hey there. We remember to put a card in there. It's recording live. Welcome.
Yeah. Hey.
Hello. Buckle up, boys and girls. We're about to talk about the brand new comics of the week. It's Let's Talk Comics. Yay. Every little boys and girls' favorite new comic. Ooh, shit. I almost spilled coffee all over the table.
Don't spill coffee all over the table. We spent good money on this table.
Good money on the table that they were begging people to take out of the store. They had to get rid of this table because it was taking up too much space on the floor. And we
still spent good money on it.
We did because they got us. They got us good. Let's talk about the newest releases this week. DJ, open up
my bag of goodies.
Yeah, there
All
it is.
right.
What'd Santa bring for DJ on this week of October?
Well, okay, so it's been a hectic week, all right? So I haven't been able to read a bunch. However, I did bring copies of Superman.
Wow, it's shiny.
And Wonder Woman because they've got the shiny covers
it's got
this
a texture.
week. Yeah, I don't know why they showed shiny covers this week, but they got shiny covers.
This one makes a little bit more sense.
Why?
This is a big event. This one's just Superman.
Yeah, it's just Superman.
And it's got an ad for DC Villains on the back, which is shiny as well.
It sure does.
I did pre-order that game, which I'm very excited about. Look, Reverse Flash has got a donut in his hand. Deathstroke looks really fucking cool.
Yeah. So that's that. But the comics I read Cursed Comics Cavalcade from DC Comics this week.
I honestly have no idea what that is.
It was on my pull list. Well, you obviously weren't paying attention. Amazing Spider-Man #7, and my comic of the week, which is definitely Murder Falcon.
Wow. Which we talked to the Daniel Warren Johnson. Wow, I cannot remember if it's Darren or Daniel.
It's Daniel Warren Johnson.
Is this one that you buy in the comic book store, or is this one of the Walmart big boys?
No, it's one you buy in the comic book store.
Kenny Porter, is that the artist who did this one?
There are a bunch of different artists. It's an anthology. Sam's looking at the Cursed Comics Cavalcade, and every holiday season, DC likes to put out little like anthology books, and so this is one of those. Everybody's telling little spooky stories. I won't say they're scary because they're not, but they're doing little spooky stories.
I read the one last year
for DC Comics.
I read the one last year, and I felt like I wasted money, but hopefully it was a good read for you. Because I was waiting. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be so spooky. I'm ready for it. And it's more just like, what if Superman was covered in blood and you could see his muscles? And I was like, all right. But let's kick it off with Marvel, because I also read Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and I really like this issue. I like the way they're buttoning off. That they're Nick Spencer knows that he writes a very specific character really well, and it's Boomerang. And so now, and he does write a good Peter Parker, so he's like, hey, why wouldn't we team these two up?
This is a nice like little treat after playing the Spider-Man game. If you want to just keep that feel going.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Boomerang could be the big villain in
the big villain.
I do hope he shows up.
I wouldn't mind having him be like Peter's roommate because he's looking for a place to stay.
I like the character a lot. But no, the issue was really good. We're buttoning off the story they started last week where Spider-Man got taken to Spider-Man Trivia. And he did really great. And I forgot that they created a persona for him. He was like, he's the liar. And I'm like, I did like, they're like in the rabble of the crowd. They're like, wait, doesn't that mean he should say the opposite of what he's saying? And it's like, you're not wrong. I like that you brought that up. And it's like, yeah, that's what a normal person would say. And I like to have the friendship. But there is someone. Who is the Centipede Man?
I don't know, and I'm not. That's my least favorite part of these comics. Whenever he shows up, whenever they do the little standalone stories are really cool, but anytime that they see like the overarching thing, I'm very uninterested.
Interesting. I like that they're dealing with Kingpin as mayor because Daredevil is the only comic that's dealing with that right now.
Okay,
and it's I like the story a lot. The Daredevil right now is very, very good. Charles Charles Soule doing a good job.
Yeah,
with it. There's no Daredevil this week, kids. So sorry about that, but hey, let's keep going. Let's talk about other Marvel comics because DJ said, screw you guys. I'm going to go read Murder Falcon. Don't worry. Your old pal Sam read too much Marvel. Let's talk about Spider-Geddon. That's the big
let's do
comic. So the Inheritors are back. It's DJ's favorite characters. It's cool. DJ's excited that he gets to see them again, that they're a big part of the
Inheritors.
Marvel comics.
Listen, the Inheritors are cooler than just Moreland on his own. Moreland was not good.
Now he's got a family of confusing names that you have to remember.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. When I started reading Spider-Verse, and I like most event comics, I was like, and I bailed. So the Inheritors haven't left a big impression on me.
Well, we found out that none of them got killed at the end of Spider-Verse.
Great stakes.
As far as none of them.
Yeah.
One became good, but the rest they didn't. They kept him on a radioactive planet, and because of Doc Ock, they are back. It's his fault, and it's an accident, and it's 100% his fault. Also, you get a death of a popular spider person.
Nice.
Not just like, look at our interesting alternate version of Peter now, and he's in sweatpants. It's like, no, he died. It's actually one that is extremely popular right now.
I don't care about spoilers.
Oh, Spider-Man Noir. He died.
Oh, okay.
But also, it's like, did he?
No, okay,
We're putting him in a movie soon.
Did he?
Yeah. So, and like, there was another character there that was like good Doc Ock, but it was a girl, and I was like, you could have killed her like that.
Wait, hold on. So it's like a spider person, Doc Ock, or Dr. Octopus, but a girl?
But a girl.
That's from the 90s. That was one of Ben Reilly's villains, was a female Dr. Octopus. Was her hair purple? All right,
it was
whatever.
It was an A-line cut, like Evangeline Lilly's haircut from The Wasp. Like, it's like that.
Gotcha.
Bob.
Yeah.
Does that mean anything? Like, that's the only standout.
Gotcha.
But they're back and they're attacking 616, and they're gonna make it their new home. That's about it. There's really nothing else to say about that comic. But let's keep trucking along. X-23 is a really well-written comic that's very enjoyable.
Nice.
And you had the Cuckoo Sisters trying to clone the two that died and bring them back, and they are going up against different clones. X-23 and Gabby. And Gabby's such a good character. What a great addition. It's just fun Wolverine. It's like, you don't need to make, because X-23 is moody, but a girl and less hairy, as far as we know. And
we can't confirm that.
Can't confirm it. And Gabby also has the fun, like, addition that she doesn't feel pain. So she is even more reckless than, like, Wolverine is, because he kind of has to deal with how bad it hurts. But Gabby's like, nothing. Like, and it makes her more endearing because it's like whatever fantasy she has of what the X-Men or what superheroes are like, she can live it because she doesn't have any of the consequences.
Nice.
But there is Tom Taylor did see a cool story in his run of like why that's not a great thing for a character that has zero consequences for what they do.
Yeah.
Avengers, it was a big Namor story, which Jason Aaron can write a really good Namor.
Cool.
But it's very confusing because Tom Taylor is writing Namor as a character in the X-Men comics, and this is an entirely different interpretation of him.
Great.
Which is it's a good interpretation. He's an asshole.
Do you have a preference between the two interpretations?
This one, Avengers. Okay. Yeah, he's a total asshole, and he's making his Deep Six team. Everyone's favorite aquatic.
Deep Six.
The Deep Six. There they are. Let's see.
The Deep Sinister Six.
I picked up Captain America. I'm in the middle of reading that. Immortal Hulk. They gave a name to Immortal Hulk, like they nicknamed him. It's Devil Hulk because he's a nightmare, and he punches Thor. And Al Ewing's really good at writing like the bigger idea concepts, kind of like Grant Morrison. Al Ewing does a good job of making it make a little bit of sense in the grand scheme of it. And his description is like, that there's so many superheroes on Earth that maybe like. And everyone kind of like looks up to them that maybe they may have accidentally made something like you believed in something so much that you made something into a god. I'm doing a piss poor job explaining it, but the way that they talk, the way that Thor explains that like this Hulk is actually like 1,000 times scarier than any of the other ones that we've dealt with.
Nice.
And you have Jennifer Walters going up against Hulk as well, and this Hulk is absolutely terrifying. Yeah. They end up like having to nuke him. Basically, they're like, we don't know. And they're like, oh yeah, he's gonna come back. Like it's a charred corpse, but they're like, yeah. We've learned that doesn't actually kill this Hulk whatsoever. And the final frame of this comic. Oop, open the wrong one. Oh wait, I gotta show. Wait, ting tang. Walla walla bing bang. Ooh ee. Ooh There it is. That's the final frame. Is him cut up in little things, and they're like, hopefully that will. And he's still alive in there, which is the goddamn nightmare. Venom is really cool. He's the Maker is part of Marvel. Hopefully Donny Cates can figure out what to do with the Maker, because there's like 9 of them for some reason, and they're all running around. They're all awful, but he and Venom are teaming up, which is interesting. And you know how Venom sometimes has the green like spit? Yeah. They explained it. They like, which I'm like, oh, I never needed that. But they're like, that's how Venom doesn't like. I hate that I have to explain it.
Explain Venom spit.
It's not
for those that saw the movie and want to know.
It's that he doesn't have like go to the bathroom and have waste like normal things. It's waste. That's what happens when he eats something. Is the green is it getting rid of it.
I don't know if we needed that.
I didn't either, but that happened. Oh, and I forgot. Infinity Wars happened, and everyone's in the Soul World all teamed up, and now they're trying to break themselves out with the Infinity Stones that are in the Soul World. Let's go ahead and move on, because I don't want to talk about that anymore.
Fair enough.
All right, DC. Let's talk about Cursed Comics Cavalcade.
Yeah, it's one of those classic holiday anthologies, and like most anthologies, some are better than others. But it's always just fun little stories. I think my favorite are the unexpected ones, like Swamp Thing is good, Batman is good, like the ones that you expect. But there's a Guy Gardner story that is actually it's a really good, because Guy Gardner is not one of my top favorite Green Lanterns, but it's actually a really good use of his character.
I was asking about the art because that's the person doing the Martian Manhunter Steve Orlando story soon. And
nice,
so
it's very good. Yeah, he did the Guy Gardner one. It's all different artists. The Demon one is from Gabriel Hardman with art by Gabriel Hardman, and he did Green Lantern Earth one.
Great.
So that's a really good one. I'm always a big Etrigan fan. That's also the good thing about the comic. These anthology ones is that some of your favorite artists will come out. The Superman one is actually pretty solid. Like a lot of the stories, it actually it's like, what if Superman had sleep paralysis? But then it's a thing. It's like a bad guy he has to stop. It's like, actually, Superman having sleep paralysis is actually way more interesting than it's just another bad guy. Like, or if Superman had night terrors, you know what I mean? Because I don't know if you've ever had night terrors, but they're not great.
I had one last night.
Yeah, they're not great.
Nope.
Yeah,
I woke up feeling awful.
And imagine if you were Superman, and there's really no reason for Superman to not experience that. You know what I mean?
Krypton.
Like none of his powers should prevent those psychological things, but it's a guy. It's not a bad story. It just would have been more. And I think that's my one issue with this is they go up to like the edge of truly scary things and then stop. And it's like, well, no, like I think you could go a little bit scarier. Another good one
Scare me.
is Robin and Solomon Grundy team up to fight Professor Pig. And this is actually really terrifying. Like, Professor Pig's always terrifying. He's one of my favorite Bat villains. But just his wording of some things, you're like, oh, you're a nightmare. Yeah.
I do kind of wish Professor Pig had a different name, only because as soon as, like, I remember Gotham's second episode when they had announced that, like, Professor Pig was in that episode, and I was like, oh wow, you guys don't, because I didn't know who he was. I was like, oh, you're just pulling from anything, aren't you? Like, you got to pull from like the 60s of the character we never talk about again. It's like Professor Pig, everybody. Let's dive into him.
Well, it's good because it's PYG, so because it's a play on Pygmalion. Stuff like that. There's a lot going on there.
What is Pig? Who's Pygmalion?
Pygmalion, I believe.
Which president is that?
Yeah, I believe Pygmalion is the core, the basis for Pretty Woman. The guy coming in and making a girl into something else.
That is super gross.
Yeah, and then
what he does.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely worth checking out if you just want some spooky stories, and if you're worried about scary stuff, this is not that. You know what I mean? But just like it's more like the creepy kid Halloween, like the cobwebs. You know what I mean? That
Alvin
sort of
and the
thing.
Chipmunks Halloween special.
Maybe a little bloodier than you're used to. You know what I mean?
Well, you picked this up, and I won't spoil it for you, but I'll talk about it a little bit. Witching Hour, the Wonder Woman tie-in for it.
Does yours have a shiny cover? Does the digital version have a shiny cover?
The screen is covered with my finger grease.
There it is.
It's similar, but you do get more. It does explain who Hecate is.
Right off the bat.
Oh, right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
There's a unicorn.
Ooh.
A unicorn.
Ooh. All right.
And there's a classic Wonder Woman villain who shows up, and I like the way they use her. Also, the art in the issue is really good, but I'm going to stay vague because you're going to read that.
Yes.
Supergirl I picked up, and they're doing the Rogolzar thing, and what they're teasing. I like the idea of Supergirl going across the universe with Crypto. It's actually a pretty fun team-up. But you're finding out that there was this group of people, which you saw in the Man of Steel comic, that a group of aliens that make decisions about if some society should live or not.
Yeah.
And that you didn't get a teaser that you didn't really figure that out in Man of Steel, but now it's like confirmed, like that's what they did, but they haven't confirmed if Krypton was one of those decisions.
Interesting.
And one of the members of the council, where it's like you recognize the Guardian, and the rest of them you're like, I don't know who that is. One of those people is the main antagonist for this. At least this run. So we'll see what happens with that. I do like the story, and I like the writing in it. But it's okay. Overall, it's just okay. I read Hawkman. Hawkman's really good. I like Robert Venditti.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Adam and Hawkman in the Microverse. It's very cool. Also, the way they're explaining Hawkman, which, I mean, give it 5 years and they'll re-explain what he is again.
Yeah.
That I like the idea that he's reincarnated, but it's just through time and space. It's just all over the place, which I feel like that's been established. But in this, they throw out the idea of like, what if you're reincarnated in different times? It's not like linearly. You just kind of pop up whatever, just to make it more complicated.
Yeah.
Also, he keeps.
It's not that it's not cool. It's just Hawkman is already the most complicated.
For no reason.
No real reason, and everybody tries to make it uncomplicated. And this feels like the one time somebody was like, "No, I'm going to make it more complicated." Hold on.
Michael Cray finished.
Yes.
It's fine. I want it in the beginning. I really like the idea of like dark version of
the Justice League. And
Justice League.
Yeah.
And now it came down to Constantine and Diana, Prince of that world, are teaming up to do the thing, bring back the Greek gods or something. But there is, in the last issue and this issue, you have the Daemonites, a Daemonite who we find out is what's inside of Michael Cray, which I didn't know if that's from the original comic too.
I don't know if he has one, but Daemonites are from the original comics.
And they're in the Wildstorm series, but that's what's inside of him. And that's what's giving him his abilities, which I thought was kind of cool. And it's him choosing to give himself over to what it is to create something new. So you'll see, hopefully he pops back up in just the Wildstorm series, which, did you read the last issue? It had a tease at the end of two characters that are mainly the only ones I cared about showing up, which I don't think we talked about.
No.
Midnighter and Apollo, and it's the coolest tease. I really like that issue.
I wish they'd killed that guy though, because he's super scary.
Yeah. Oh.
He's super scary. No, it's interesting, man, because I thought there were like these big. There were supposed to be like multiple spin-offs of Wildstorm. I feel like the line's probably not doing well enough because it's staying pretty self-contained.
Yeah, and if that's it, I'm okay.
It's still good. It's still a good story. So
if Midnighter and Apollo, I think that must have done some press for them. Who cares? I'm liking it, so it doesn't matter. Plastic Man, you didn't pick that up.
I picked it up.
Oh, I
just didn't bring it here. Oh. Yeah, I just haven't read it yet.
Good issue.
No,
I really like this. Gail Simone, shockingly, is really good. Titans I like the way they're utilizing them in the Scott Snyder whatever decision. Wow, a lot of planes going over right now. The whole Titans and Teen Titans and all these teams are offshoots of the Justice League. They're all like working for the same goal. Yeah. Their goal is really interesting, and it's directly tying in with what Nightwing is going through. That stuff. And I like what they're doing with Beast Boy. Basically, since the events of No Justice, that's what that was, right? He can't turn back into just a kid anymore. He can't turn back into a teenager. He just is always kind of looking like a monster. And it's because of the energies he was exposed to. And one of the first people that they found that was exposed to this is dead. Now they tried to save him. They couldn't. And he's kind of in the same boat. And it's a pretty sad comic, but it's good. Flash is... Yep. Okay. Superman. Superman is a comic that you're going to read, so I don't need to talk about that. Yeah. Red Hood and the Outlaw is dealing with heroes in crisis.
Oh, cool.
So it's nice and depressing.
The fallout of a certain something?
Yeah. And I haven't read Detective Comics yet because I picked it up. It's a fun Firefly, Two-Face versus Batman story. There you go. But let's go over to Indie Comics.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so excited about this. Did you read this? Did you pick it up?
I did not pick it up.
Why, Sam? Why?
Didn't see it. I didn't see it.
It's so good. It makes me so happy. Let me see if I... For one, I've come to determine that... Daniel Warren Johnson is one of those rare talents. Like he's going to be one of the ones like Darwin Cook that we talk about for a while, because his art, for those that don't know, Murder Falcon is an extra dimensional. He's either an extra dimensional or alien entity that is powered through metal to fight monsters, metal music to fight monsters. You get great lines like the main guy comes in and there's a giant monster right off the bat, and the cop's like, you don't have a gun. He's like, I don't need weapons, officer. I brought metal. Right.
I really like that the head of the guitar looks like a bird.
Right. Yeah. And so then Murder Falcon comes in, and by the way, I needed an action figure of this yesterday.
I think they have them.
Oh my God, I need it.
I think the way Skybound makes their comics is that they kind of get on the merch immediately.
I want it. I need it. Murder Falcon says stuff like metal will destroy all evil. And then you get a flashback to like his situation. And I think like a lot of Daniel Warren Johnson stuff, it's dealing with some heavier emotional stuff along with the craziness.
Murder Falcon has so many abs.
He does, man. It's everything, dude. It's everything. And he's got that classic comic like where his headband is his brow. Like it's the power of metal fuels me. Dude, it's just so good. It's just hard to describe how perfectly amazing this comic is. There's a scene where they're just chilling on top of a van listening to music. I love it.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I might check it out.
I can't recommend it enough.
Mm-hmm. For indies for me, I still read Animosity, and I think a lot of people out there that listen to this still read it. It's a solid comic, but man, there's no happy ending for anybody in this ever.
Cool.
It's so sad, and the idea might be a little too big. It's a little too big. It's a really nightmare scenario of like. The idea of what if everything on Earth was equal, like in terms of intelligence and what they're owed and everything, and
every living thing,
even bugs. And it's like, I don't know how you do it. There's like even like a couple issues ago, they had this whole story with a vulture that had kind of created a cult, and like they had people and animals that were all part of this cult because it promised to feed them. And they would hunt down anything, and they'd eat it. And so there's a scary moment where one of the girls the main girl walks into a farm, and there's a lot of creatures that are strung up on like meat hooks, and there's people and there's animals and stuff, and it's like the way you have to interpret this is it's as scary as seeing people, like it across the board. This is scary, but also it's meat to all of them. And so it's this weird evening of the playing field where I'm like, I don't know actually where you go with this, because if you were to take away the intelligence of one of them, that would be like taking it away from a group of people now, because you've given them the intelligence of that. And it's really sad, and it's really scary, and I don't know where this can go. I honestly don't know where you can go with this story. But I'm still interested because it's so well written. The art's really good. So It's like, I think I might need to tap out at if it keeps. I let the end of this story right now. They're in a closed off city where it's just girls, and there's no animals. It's just women. It's not good. It's like it's not the people who are running it. It's not a good situation.
Great.
And if it doesn't pick up, I might have to just tap out and maybe pick up when do they get to the end. And I do want to know where this goes, because I don't know where it could go. But
I know that feeling. If you want a little pick me up, check out Murder Falcon. Check out Murder Falcon.
Also, I didn't talk about this at length last week, but Giant Days, because I was saving it for myself. Giant Days, it's so good because they're in winter. Because they try to do it linearly with us, so they're now at Christmas time, and they're dealing with Christmas markets that are a big European tradition.
Cool.
And one of the guys has a girlfriend who's an exchange student from Australia. He's trying to save money to like go to her family in Australia for Christmas time, and he's actually owing money to the place because he has to buy the outfits and stuff. And whenever he goes in to talk to the boss, his job becomes way harder. Like now he's an actor in it. He's like, what happened? Like they won't show you what happened in the conversation, but the way Daisy, one of the main characters, she's the one with the curly hair, she's like, no, it's the Christmas market strategy. It dips and then you make double the money. It's like, that makes no sense. What are you talking about? It's like you have to wait till like people like are coming in to buy their gifts now, and it's like, what? And it's like, that doesn't make any sense. And of course, that's a lie. It's a total scam. But she's also kind of brainwashed too into, she's a RA at one of the dorms, and she's sending more people to go work there, and everyone's losing money. And she's like, wait, I'm part of the problem. And she has a total meltdown. She's like, oh my God, I'm the worst person ever. And it's such a endearing thing that like, you can read Animosity and then read this, and then you're basically even. It's like getting screamed at, and then you watch a cartoon that you remember from your kid. You're like, this is equal. I guess this is what even is now. But let me know what you guys think. I did pick up Swamp Thing. I'll lend it to you so we can read it, and also let you guys can let us know what you think in the comic book club chat in the Discord. And if you're not a part of that, make sure you join it. Add your Discord account to your Patreon, and then you can get that. But also next week, Super TV Showdown shows up again. Oh boy,
it's going to be on Thursdays, same as the Osei show. And Osei show is moving to Wednesdays.
Yes.
So you're going to be getting more content, baby.
4 p.m. PST, and you can join live at twitch.tv/playnoggin for our Flash, Arrow, and Supergirl reviews. But for everything else, Patreon, baby, that's where it's at. And you can get that for the following hour. So you're getting like 2 hours full of reviews.
As long as you're on the Patreon.
As long as you're on the Patreon, which you are if you're listening to this.
Exactly. There you go.
You're good. You're good to go.
You're good to go.
All right. We love you guys, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. For video people,
by the way, if you're having problems, it's fucking YouTube. All right, it's fucking YouTube. YouTube can suck my dick.
Hey, let's put that on our next poster.
Yeah, YouTube can suck my dick.
Well, it's doing just okay.
Okay. Well, I hope you guys had a good stream. I have fun talking about comics, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.